no, this is not a prank. What you just saw was me in high school at about 14 years old. And yeah, a lot happened, but let's talk about it. High school was a very interesting time in my life. I went through a lot of my personal life, and you guys will find out about a lot of that, as you guys stay subscribed to this channel and stuff like that. But let's talk about that picture you guys saw in the thumbnail. So my parents and stuff, I get questions like this all the time. Why aren't you close with your family? Do you talk to your parents? Things of that nature. I don't talk to anybody from my family actually at all. And this is one of those reasons why. So let's start from the beginning. My parents were very strict. I think I've emphasized that in other stories and stuff like that, right? I remember my mom used to cut my hair all the time. She used to cut my hair, and I liked it for the most part until I didn't, because she messed it up one time, and I remember everybody at school made fun of me and stuff like that. So I'm like, I'm gonna cut my own hair. But there was this one day that my mom insisted that she cut my hair, and it had been a long time since she had cut my hair. So I'm like, okay, all right, meh, and so we were sitting in the kitchen, or I was sitting in the kitchen while she was cutting my hair, and I remember my aunt being in the doorway of the kitchen, and my mom and my aunt were talking, and then all of a sudden my aunt cracks this joke. She's like, hey, wouldn't it be hilarious if your mother just shaved off one of your eyebrows? And I'm like, ha ha ha, no, that's not funny. What you talking about? Oh my God, like, that's weird. She's like, but what if she shaved off half of an eyebrow if you told a lie? And I'm like, no, what the heck? That's weird. You got to think about it, guys. High school is one of the most vulnerable times of your entire life, right? You're developing emotionally and stuff like that. You're just trying to fit in. And come on, man, showing up to school already having anxiety with a missing eyebrow because of something your parents did. Come on, man. Come on, man. Anyways, so she's like, oh, so you plan on telling lies then? And I'm like, no, but that's a messed up punishment. Why not just something more reasonable? You know what I mean? Like shaving an eyebrow. You guys let me know in the comments down below. Do you think that's too extreme to get an eyebrow shaved off for every lie you tell? I think it's extreme. But anyways, if you do that on your own, that's totally fine. But against your will, bruh, come on. Anyways, so I'm like, fine, whatever. I don't plan on lying, so this should be easy peasy, right? Well, yeah. Oh, wait. My parents are super strict. Now, after that little session and stuff like that, I got my hair cut. There was something else that popped up. Now, at school, we had a chemistry project that we had to do. It was a group project. And just for the background of how strict my parents were, specifically my mother, she was so not okay with the fact of me having an email at all to email my homework assignments into my teachers, that if she literally said if she ever found me with an email account, she would kick me out of the house. And I'm like, wow, over an email, my guy, relax. So first I got in trouble. I got punished. The first time she found I had an email was a year prior, because my teachers wanted to start receiving homework via email back in the day. I'm pretty sure that's very normal now. It was normal then too, versus turning in hard copy pieces of paper and stuff like that. Yeah, my mom found out that I had an email, and of course made me delete the email, and I got banned from using the computers in the house for a year. Yes, a year. So, of course, I had to find ways to do my homework, so I did homework at school. And of course, this chemistry project I was talking to you guys about, we had to work in groups. Now, everybody in the group, not only did they have emails, they were communicating through Facebook. Now, imagine if my parents aren't letting me have an email, what in your right mind thinks that they're going to let me have a Facebook? So I had to play the Sneako 1000, you know what I'm saying, real quick. So I had to turn my sneak game up to 100. And what I did was, at school, on my friend's phone, I wanted making a Facebook account and stuff. And I'm like, man, I was skeptical at first. I'm like, man, if my parents find out, I'm dead. I'm literally dead, bro. I'm not going to be existing on this planet. My friend's like, dude, don't worry about it. I mean, we need this so that we can get a good grade on this chemistry project. Anyways, long story short, we collaborate over the internet via Facebook. Everything was great. We have one computer in my family's living room and stuff like that we would use all the time. And whenever my parents weren't there in the living room and they were upstairs, you know, or they were like out of the house for a little bit, I would use the family computer, log on to Facebook, and you know, that was that. Now, oh my God, one fateful night, I was sleeping and I was awoken by my father. Okay. And it was interesting because I had just fallen asleep. It was around like 9 p.m., you know, on a school night. I got tapped on the shoulder and, you know, they're like, hey, no, actually, matter of fact, this is different. This is something completely different. So, better yet, I remember this because that was a different incident. This incident, I was actually at school getting picked up. My mom would pick me up from school and stuff like that. She would drop me off, pick me up from school because where my school was kind of far from my house. I could have taken the bus to get to my home, but that's another story for another time. Anyways, my mother picks me up from school. Normally, it's a really quiet car ride from point A to point B. Yeah, today was different. So I get in the car. It's kind of cloudy outside. And driving home, my mom's like, yo, how was your day? I'm like, oh, it was great, you know. Did homework, did stuff, you know. Got a good grade on my chemistry project. See? Hey. She's like, oh, that's good. That's really good. That's really good. Then she kept asking me a lot of interesting questions. She kept repeating one particular question over and over again. She's like, is there anything you want to tell me? Is there anything you want to tell me? Is there anything you want to tell me? And I kept saying, yeah, I told you everything. My day was great. I did homework and the chemistry project was a success. I did really good. And so she's like, okay, all right. So my mom had this Android, right? She had this Android phone. I'll never forget it. It was in the center console while she was driving. And of course, you don't want to text and drive. So she's like, hey, can you unlock my phone really quick? And I'm like, oh, sure. You know, no big deal. Grab the phone, unlock it. And would you believe me if I told you I was staring at my Facebook profile, staring at it. She's like, what's that? And I'm like, I don't know. It's not mine. It said James Bray on it. James Bray on the Facebook profile right there in front of my face. And I'm like, oh my God, my heart dropped to my toes. My heart tried to eject itself from my body, but it couldn't, you know. One of the worst down bad moments I've ever experienced, right? So she's like, oh, are you sure that's not yours? It has your name on it. It has your school on it. It has your date of birth on it. It has all of your related little friends, because apparently my friend's parents were friends with her. So I was recommended to her through Mark Zuckerberg's snitching algorithm. Mark Zuckerberg got me in trouble. So anyways, she's like, well, you know it has to happen, right? Because this isn't just one lie. This is a ball of wax of lies. Because eventually, you know, I admitted that, you know, it was me that made it. I tried to pin it on one of my friends. I'm like, oh, one of my friends made a fake profile for me and stuff. That wasn't working, bro. That wasn't working. My dad's a software engineer. My mom was very with the times. They knew about trends on the internet before I knew what trends were, okay? So long story short, got home and I was shaking. I was so scared. Because I knew it was coming. Because they deliver. They their punishments, they deliver, man. I remember, you know, I got home. My dad wasn't home yet. You know, he got home like 3 hours later. So for 3 hours, I was just pacing back and forth in my room. I'm like, oh my God. My dad got home. Another hour passed by, and then of course, my mom calls me into her room, and my aunt was also in the room too. My aunt got involved in a lot of family affairs. It was interesting, kind of weird, but you know, it's whatever. Closed the door, and they all three of them, my mom, my dad, my aunt, they're like, hey, remember that conversation we had about the eyebrows? They come off right now. Both of them, all of them, you know what I'm saying? And I actually had an afro at the time, the same afro I have now, but it was a bit bigger. First thing they did, my dad like sat me down in the bathroom, and I was like, no, please. I was trying to beg and plead him not to do it. Gave me the bald fade, man. I mean, I was looking kind of shiny. I looked like a chocolate circle, you know? It was crazy. So my head was just glistening after the, you know, the bald fade. And I felt, man, I was already embarrassed. But the only thing I had were my eyebrows at that point, right? Well, my mom takes out the shaving cream. She's like, hold on real quick. So my dad holds me down really tight so I don't freak out and move around or anything. Shaving cream on the eyebrows, yo. Well, first they buzzed them off, you know? So there was still, you can still kind of see my eyebrows because they're pretty thick. It takes a lot to take these things off, you know, these bushy eyebrows. And then they used some shaving cream and shave that off. And I'm telling you, when I looked in the mirror and I looked at myself, I was mortified, yo. I was mortified. I didn't know who I was looking at. I mean, I'm not sure if you've ever had an experience like that where you look at yourself in the mirror and you're just like, I don't know who that is, but that's what I had. I think that at that point in my life is where I developed like extreme anxiety. I was like paranoid from that day forward, you know. I was very jittery, and I just feel like there was a huge shift in my personality at that point, you know. I was internally incredibly bitter and stuff. I knew at that point in my life, I'm like, as soon as that happened, because I'm like, there could have been something way more reasonable that they could have done, you know. If trust me, like if you make an account, your parents find out you made like a Facebook account without your permission, what do you think should happen? Let me know in the comments. What do you think the punishment should have been, guys? I want to hear you guys' comments down below. But that was extreme because they took it a step further. They actually asked for the password to my Facebook, right? So I gave them the password. They made the picture that they took, because they took a picture of me after they're shaving off my eyebrows and stuff. They're like, smile for the camera. And I was mad. I was like trying not to cry. So in that picture you guys see there, I was actually holding back tears. You can't see anything because them tears was sucked up. I was like, hello. You know what I'm saying? So they took a picture of me and I was smiling. I was a sarcastic smile, but I smiled for it. And they made that my profile picture. And they would tweet, and they wouldn't tweet, it was on a Twitter account, it's a Facebook account. They would post random statuses, really weird, off-putting, creepy statuses on my Facebook. Just things that didn't even sound like me. So my friends at school, they're like, yo, like, I mean, like later on, they're like, are you good? Like, you kind of moving funny, man. Like, da-da-da-da. Yo, I was mortified. So also I had this little payphone and stuff like that. It was you load minutes onto it. I'm not sure if any of you guys know what that life is like, but basically you load a certain amount of money onto your phone, and I think if you're on the phone talking to someone, every minute costs like 10 cents. If you text somebody, the texts were 25 cents a text message. To send and receive was 25 cents. Now I had like $50 loaded on my phone at the beginning of every month. My dad would load money on it. And before I went to school the following morning, because my eyebrows were gone, you know what I'm saying? Like, I woke up, I looked in the mirror, I was like freaking out. I was hyperventilating and stuff like that. I had hives all over my body. I was panicking, man. Like, literally, I don't think y'all know. I did not recognize myself. It was crazy. So anyways, I call my friends because, you know, I normally get to school early. I'm like, yo, guys, I'm going to show up to school. You guys are going to see some craziness all over my face. My parents shaved off my eyebrows. So I'm going to look a little weird. And they thought I was joking. They thought I was playing games, man. Nah, bro. I pulled up to the school, right? And it was wintertime when this happened. So I had a skull cap that was covering my eyebrows. And I remember pulling up to the school and, you know, my friends were all talking in a group. I was talking and joking with them and stuff like that. And then I'm like, yo, guys, like, real talk. Like, and they were like talking. They didn't hear me and stuff. And I'm like, guys, I'm trying to get their attention. They were just talking, all jokes. Then I pulled my hat off, and they looked at me, and they jumped like 11 billion feet backwards. They're like, oh, you know, like they saw a ghost or something. They all jumped, and they're like, yo, what happened to your face? What happened to your hair? Because I always had a lot of hair when I went to school, right? Like, my hair was really long, you know? Bro, my parents' reasoning for my eyebrows being shaved off was that I had to wear like that look on my face as like a scarlet letter. We were reading the scarlet letter in school. You know, there was a lady that cheated on her husband or something like that. So she had to embroider a letter A on her dress for adultery. You know what I mean? So for me, the scarlet letter for me was just shaving off my eyebrows, going bald, and walking around school with that on my face. You know, inner city schools are unforgiving. Let me let y'all know that right now. Now, my friends, though, however, had a completely opposite reaction than what I was expecting. They freaked out. Like two of my closest friends straight up started crying, and I'm like, "Yo, what's going on?" They're like, "Did you do that to yourself?" And I'm like, "No, I told you my parents did this to me." And they got mad. They got mad as hell, man. They were crying. They were mad. They're like, "Yo, like, what the heck? Like, why? Like, what happened?" I'm like, "They found out I had a Facebook." Yo, man. All I'm gonna say is my friends, and like, I mean, they were pretty popular, you know, so they let everybody know what was going on, but they let everybody know what my parents did, you know. And I didn't know. Like, I'm like, "Yo, like, keep that shit low key. Like, what's going on?" I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen, but you know, basically, a lot of people, most people in the school were making fun of me, of course, because I look weird as hell. They're like, "Oh, he looks like an alien. Like, he looks like a cancer patient." All kinds of crazy stuff. So my self-esteem was the lowest it ever was, ever. I had no self-esteem, but at the same time, I wasn't expecting my friends to have that reaction. But like I said, I'm not even sure why I'm sharing this story with you guys. I guess now I feel like, I'm like, dang, like I was going through my phone. I'm like, dang, I remember this picture. That was iconic, you know. And also, of course, my stream on Twitch and stuff, people ask me like, you know, why I don't talk to my parents anymore and da-da-da-da-da, or why I haven't talked to my parents in a long time. I haven't had a serious conversation with my parents in like 12 years, you know. And that's probably the biggest reason why. Right then and there, I decided in my head, I'm like, the first chance I get, I'm never going to talk to them again. And I don't think they think I'm serious, but I'm so serious. And I don't know, that's where my character development kind of initiated or whatever. But that's a, you know, crazy story. It definitely changed me. But what would you guys have done in a situation like that is actually a question I have for you guys. This is a long story time, man. I didn't expect this to be this long. I was all over the place. I was remembering details as I was telling the story because it has been a long time. Your boy's about to be 26. That was when I was 14. Very impactful moment, though. But yeah. Let me know what you guys think. That's a story time. Start off the day. And yeah, that's about it. Well, what a pleasure it is to see all of your beautiful faces at the end of this lovely video. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm sure you know, as I've mentioned in the past, we do have a Discord that's linked in the description down below, and we would love to have you a part of the world's greatest community ever, Bray Gang. Yes, if you've made it to this point in the video, you're officially a part of the community. So go ahead, join the Discord server. Link is in the description down below. And we also have other social media as well, like Instagram, Twitter. We're live. We go live on Twitch quite often as well. So it would behoove you to, you know, go ahead and subscribe to the Twitch channel at twitch.tv/JamesBrayGang. Join the cause and be a part of the greatest, literally the greatest community ever. Okay, it's simple. Just go ahead and do those little things. We're trying to grow on all these little platforms and everything, and it really means a lot. Now, I know you guys stumbled up across the channel and you're like, what does this guy post? Like, what kind of content does he post? Reactions, vlogs, pretty much whatever comes to my mind. All right, it's random content. I don't know what I'm gonna be posting 10 years from now, but I do know that you can stick along for the journey, and it really means a lot. Now, for every single person that subscribes and follows all of the accounts that I have made, and all the links will be in the description down below, that's an automatic entry for any future giveaways I decide to have. I'll remind you when the giveaways take place, but you'll be surprised what I will be giving away because you guys have supported me so much up to this point, and it's only right that I do the same thing back. Thank you guys so much for being amazing, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Peace.